Welcome back, 8:23 your time. In 4 days, the Georgia Bulldogs will face Alabama at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Dogs with a shot at winning their first football national championship since the 1980 season. They advanced to that championship game by beating Oklahoma in a double overtime shootout in the Rose Bowl. The Sony Michel touchdown scamper gave the Dogs the 54-48 win over the Sooners and earned them a date against Alabama to play for the College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy, which is in studio with us this morning. And guess what? So's the quarterback who led the Bulldogs to their last national championship some 37 years ago.
Yeah,
really?
was it?
Is it hard
that long ago?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
We haven't gotten that old, have we? This must bring back a ton of memories for you.
Well, it does, and I tell you, it's a great chance to catch up with some of these teammates too that were a part of that championship run, and that's what this team will figure out here soon, Buck, is the fact that if they can finish this out, win the championship, they're going to have a bond that will be unbreakable the rest of their lives.
Buck Belue, Buck Lanford, rare to have two Bucks on the set. Let's talk about that 1980 season. Are there some comparisons between that 1980 team and this team other than the fact that they're playing for a national championship?
Well, I think outstanding coaching staffs. Coach Dooley and his staff, phenomenal. What Kirby and his staff have done, just phenomenal this season also. Besides the good quarterback play.
Oh, of course, so that goes without being said.
The defense has been rock solid. They've hunkered down, to use one of those Bulldog terms. I think the leadership group is very similar, too. Juniors and seniors stepping up to lead the way with a lot of young, talented players on the team. So, yeah, I think there are some ingredients that are the same as you compare the two.
And this team doesn't have a Herschel Walker like that 1980 team did, but you almost have a Herschel Walker by committee, don't you?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, and times have changed. During this period, we had Herschel. He could carry it 40 times a game, no problem. And nowadays, you're seeing this combination back become so popular these days. So you got Chubb, Michel, even Swift have been in there. And I say the great advantage is when the defenses get a little fatigued, Georgia is handing the ball to talented running backs with fresh legs. And we saw that show up in the Rose Bowl.
What you mentioned the Rose Bowl. What a game that was. Whether you're a fan of either one of those teams or not, it was a very entertaining game. Where were you watching it? And tell me what that was like for you, because what a game it was.
Well, I was with the family at home. We were holding out for the national title game, but cheering them on at home and just thrilled with what we saw. And, we just didn't lose faith at halftime when they were down. That field goal, Rodrigo setting that Rose Bowl record with a field goal right before halftime. And then they started the second half. That defense shut down Baker Mayfield and the Sooners. Offense really kicked into high gear. And it was a fun ride there in the second half. This was things dreams are made of here. The Rose Bowl, Georgia.
Right.
Yeah, you don't even dream some of these things.
So what did Georgia show you in that game, other than the fact that they did come from behind? They didn't quit. They were resilient, because it looked pretty grim there for a little while. What did they show you in that game that shows you that they can compete with Alabama?
Well, the thing I really appreciate is the line of scrimmage play, Buck. The offensive line was just fabulous. Ben Cleveland stepping in late in the season gave him a boost. I love those offensive lines as a former quarterback. And I thought the defensive line, too, very young, but deep and talented, and they've stepped up. So this is the difference to me, is the line of scrimmage play. The big guys for Georgia have really elevated their play this year.
All right, I remember Georgia and Alabama meeting in an SEC championship game not that long ago. Now you get a chance against Alabama here in Atlanta again. Break down this matchup for us. Can the Dogs beat? Because Alabama's been here and done that recently. It's been a long time for Georgia. What does Georgia need to do, and can they win this game?
Well, it's a tough matchup. Alabama, obviously, the cream of the crop when it comes to college football. And I just spoke about Georgia's line of scrimmage. O-line, D-line. Well, Alabama's the best in football. Their defensive line really dominated the game against Clemson. So that Georgia offensive line, it's not going to be easy. But the way Fromm is playing at quarterback, so proud of what he's done as a freshman. He's playing like a Matt Ryan, a 30-year-old Matt Ryan or whatever. So they've got a shot. They need to play well, and I believe they need to play well early, sort of send a message that this isn't going to be easy for Alabama.
Almost out of time, but I did want to ask you about Fromm. You were a junior in 1980. This kid is a freshman. He wasn't even the starter at the beginning of this season. Just speak to the poise and what this guy's shown and how much we've seen him grow up.
Well, he's the fifth-ranked passer in all of college football in his freshman year, so he's making all the throws. But I tell you what really impresses me is the way he manages the game. He's getting them out of bad plays into good plays. The team looks at him and they see a confident guy, a guy that's making all the throws, doing what he's supposed to do to help the team win. Unselfish guy, too. He knows his place. As a freshman, when they brag on you in these interviews, you deflect and talk about how outstanding Chubb and Michelle are. So he's been very impressive.
Want to make a prediction or no?
I like Georgia. I'm all in with this one.
All right.
I think it's going to be a bloody battle, but looking for Georgia to come away with a win, Bob.
All right, we'll listen to you this week on the Buck and Kincaid Show on 680 The Fan.
Thanks so much.
All right, Buck, thanks a lot.